We call it the Analytics Insider because you bring speakers who are leaders in their fields to talk about a theme that is central to the evolution of analytics in practice. How does it change lives? And how does it work in organizations? The topic for today, as you know, is privacy and personalization. And what we mean is how can we achieve both objectives? And each of these speakers have prepared their comments, their opinions, and their vision of what it could be from the perspective of their industry and their individual perspective as well.
Okay, I'm going to build on what Chris said very nicely and tackle the ethical aspects of responsible AI. I spent 3 years living in Hong Kong and China. I can even say good morning to you and Chao Shang Hao. As I said before, it's both a gold mine and a minefield, and if you look on the slide here, you see on the top left there, top right as you face it, it's a real opportunity. So it affords tremendous opportunity to, increase the flourishing of our way of life, a better functioning of business. If you think about, let's just take the simple example of people that are getting older in society. Often they're stuck in their homes. Autonomous vehicles will give them greater mobility, and their lives will be able to the medicine that's available now will be able to help them live a better life with some of the less consequences of, although you get medicine, it can, sometimes your life is pretty still difficult to live with. There are unintended consequences here, which I'm sure Chris has spoken to and the other speakers will talk to, but the impact for an organisation of this is around the reputational damage and the worst case shareholder value. So Cambridge Analytica, during the elections here in the US used data from the US, that company's been wiped off the face of the earth, right? And that companies' trust and data and analytics impact what we call the social license to operate. And what we really see today is a challenge to companies like Facebook and Google and others, their social license to operate in the way that they operate today without much regulation, just by the challenges to whether they're operating ethically or responsibly. And the compliance challenge, deploying AI without anchoring it on ethics and governance, is going to result in a lot of fines and sanctions. So GDPR, which is the Global Data Privacy Regulations, it's been strengthened and strengthened and strengthened, and now if a company has more than 3 breaches I think in 3 years, they can lose up to 4% of their revenue. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's pretty dramatic. And if you think of the revenue of a Microsoft, the revenue of Accenture, our revenue is $40 billion. Just do the math of 4% of that. So there's huge ramifications, and the California data that somebody, I think, referenced before, that's more coming in here too. So I say here the responsible AI approach is create the right framework, design and architect ethical AI into it, monitor and audit it, and reskill it. This is just one example that Accenture's working on, a launch pad, which is around putting a whole bunch of protocols, tools, so technical technology and products like a fairness tool we call, and a number of companies are building this, understanding how it addresses your brand, the governance that needs to be put in place, and the organization structures that need to be there.
You touched on this a little bit, but admittedly I'm not that familiar with the landscape. Is there a movement to get global standards around how we manage data privacy and what we do with data, since the internet, these platforms are global entities?
I think there is a consciousness emerging of it, and there are many governments working on it, and it's been discussed at the World Economic Forum. So I would argue that there's an understanding that we need to do it, but I don't know whether there's any global framework yet. But look, we've been trying to get global framework for climate, and so I think it's happening at national levels. The GDPR is a great example, which is impacting every country. That's a European directive. So I think there's growing consciousness and there's growing movement. We've got a lot of work to do.